Hello everyone and welcome to Lord of the Rings Lore, a new series that will entail me sharing some of the lore from Tolkien's creation of Middle-earth. These videos will not be coming out on a regular basis, much like my other series, just because this is a hobby, although I will try and get these done at least once a month. No promises though. All information that is used in this series is from the work of Tolkien, and in no way am I the right holder of any of this information. It is all from his work, and all the information I've gathered is from different sources, and I've pretty much gathered them up and presented it to you guys in my own little creative spin on it. So I do not take any of the credit for any of the work within this video. They are all from different people, including music, video and pictures. All that I am doing is gathering information and presenting it to you my own artistic license, as it were. Okay, with that said, let's just get into the first episode. So the first episode is going to be the fate of the Fellowship. Many of us know the story of the Fellowship and the ending chapters of Frodo Baggins's story, but a lot of us are actually unaware of what happened to the rest of the group after the War of the Ring. This first episode is going to focus on Gimli, Legolas and Aragorn, three of the best friends that have pretty much made their bond during the War of the Ring. We will start off with Gimli, son of Gloin, the dwarf of the Fellowship and good friend to both Legolas and Aragorn. After spending most of the War of the Ring with both of his people, after the skirmish and fall of the Fellowship at Arm and Hen, he followed Aragorn from Fangorn to the Black Gate, but it was at the Battle of Helm's Deep that something piqued his interest. After the Battle of Helm's Deep, Gimli set foot in the Glittering Caves. This was the cave system that was connected to the fortress of Helm's Deep. Gimli, astounded by the beauty of this cave, was granted permission to bring a company of dwarves from the Lonely Mountain to establish a community within these caves. Gimli was then granted the title Lord of the Glittering Caves. Once the community within the Glittering Caves was set up and fully functional, he actually decided to start rebuilding what was lost in the War of the Ring, and he started with Helm's Deep. He reconstructed the fortress back to its former glory and made a lot of improvements. This fortress was then shared by dwarves and the men of Rohan alike. His most impressive feat that could be argued is the work he did on Minas Tirith. He pretty much retrofitted the whole of the city, making a lot of improvements to the infrastructure of the city, and also one of the crowning jewels of his construction was the city of Minas Tirith's gates. He basically made this gate out of steel and the prized metal mithril. After the War of the Ring, Gimli made a pact of friendship with Legolas to visit the forest of Fangorn and walk among the forest with him, under one condition, that he would do the same in the Glittering Caves. After a long time, Legolas invited Gimli to travel to the west with him to the Undying Lands. Gimli accepted this out of friendship with Legolas, but more importantly maybe to see the beauty of Galadriel again. This was very strange because he was the first dwarf to partake on this journey, and this would not have even been possible if it were not for Galadriel herself obtaining the rite of passage for him. The next member of the Fellowship that we'll have a look at is Legolas, the good friend to both Gimli and Aragorn, and the son of the Elf Lord of Thranduil, had survived the War of the Ring. After the Battle of the Black Gate, he stayed in Minas Tirith for a time to watch the coronation of his good friend Aragorn and the wedding between his friend and Arwen. He did not spend much time in Minas Tirith before departing with Gimli to act out their act of friendship, as they both walked among the forest of Fangorn and the Glittering Caves. After his business was concluded with Gimli, he went back to his home of Mirkwood. There, he gathered his father's permission to lead a group of elves to Ifilin. There, Legolas and his group of elves helped rebuild the lands, with Faramir, who is now the lord of the area. With those two's combined might, the lands became prosperous once again, and the corruption was removed. This gained the elves of Mirkwood great favour with the king Aragorn. However, when Aragorn died in the 4th Age 120, the elves decided it was time to leave Middle-earth and leave it to the lands of men and dwarves. Legolas with them. As we know, Legolas then extended this invitation to Gimli, which he accepted, and they both leave Middle-earth for the Undying Lands in the west. Lastly, we have Aragorn, son of Arathorn, has now finally accepted his destiny and took the throne of Gondor and Arnor, and was crowned King Elessar. After Sauron's defeat, he returned to Minas Tirith, where he was married to Arwen and had a long and prosperous reign thanks to his Númenórean blood. Aragorn spent much of his reign rebuilding both Gondor and the land of Arnor in Eriador, in which he created the reunited kingdom. This consisted of both the newly rebuilt Arnor and Gondor, that were now under one banner, unlike before where they were independent of each other. With this reunited kingdom, he led many campaigns to retake the lands that were once belonged to Gondor. This was met with great success and made Gondor the strongest it had been in a long time. During his campaigns, Aragorn had managed to retake the whole of the south of Gondor, Umbar and Rohaven. It is also said that he became the Lord of Dale and the Lonely Mountain, although they retained their independence with their own kings and rulers. Before Aragorn passed away, it is believed that he also rebuilt the capital of Arnor and Numenas, although this is just theorised and has no solid evidence. That concludes the first episode. Tune in next time to see what happened to the 4 hobbits at the end of the War of the Ring. Thank you guys, and tune in for the next episode.